Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, we're picking up where we left off with the rear gas tank conversion. Okay, so this conversion is one that I've spent a lot of time researching, a lot of time on the forums. I've really put in the time to make sure all this jived and worked and looked clean. And I think I finally got everything I need to finish this tank swap. I have hit a few hiccups. I'm gonna show y'all what that is. But I think once we're done with this, this is gonna look super clean and any of y'all can put this kit together and do it yourself. First off, if you've not seen the first video on this tank swap conversion, I encourage you to go check it out. It'll show you everything you need to do to fit a tank in the back of one of these Willys Jeeps. I went with a 73 DJ5 gas tank, the 15 gallon. The DJ5 was like the male Jeep version. So that changes some stuff if you're going to use a later model like 76 to 86 CJ tank. And I'm going to show y'all what the differences are and everything. First, let's just start from one end, work to the next. I'll show y'all what parts we got and how they're all going to work together. So this is your standard 76 to 86 CJ5, CJ7, CJ8 gas filler neck. And it's got your fill hose that attaches here and your vent hose that attaches here. And then just a standard non-vented gas cap. If you can find a vented one, that would be awesome. I couldn't find one. This is your standard insert that is gonna go in your quarter panel right here. And this is a plastic one. They do make a stainless one that I really wanna get. It was like 4 times as much as this one though, so I'm gonna have to save up for that one. But this, we're gonna cut a hole out in this back quarter. And this will just set up in there nice and flush. It'll look super clean. And the filler neck just, bolts up in there like that. So that'll look really good. I've got 2 different sets of hose clamps. These are 2 3/4 and these are 1.5 inches, I want to say, 1 3/4. I know it's stupid, but if you don't have these, you're going to be kicking yourself in the butt that you don't have them. Having all the necessary hardware and equipment to do this kind of thing, it just makes the whole job a lot easier. So make sure you've got these. Okay, so these are the 76 to 86 CJ vent hose and fuel filler hose. And if you'll notice, this is 1 inch, 1 1/8, something like that. And this is maybe 3/4. These are super tiny. If you use a 76 to 86 tank, then you're gonna have no problem. They go right onto this filler neck. Everything jives with the tank and everything. Because I went with what the forums said, and everybody was recommending this DJ5 tank for some reason. And come to find out, the DJ5 tank has a totally different setup than the 76 to 86. And what it is, the fuel filler hose port on this tank is 2 3/16, which is what this hose is for, which is massive compared to the 76 to 86 fuel filler hose. Check out the difference. So when this happened, I started scratching my head. I was like, how am I gonna get, this tank to work with this setup, to work with this fuel filler neck? Because I really like how clean this is gonna turn out, mounted up in there. It's just gonna look super stock, like later model CJs. At first I thought maybe a reducer, maybe reduce this down to this size and reduce it down to the tank or something like that. But believe it or not, this fuel filler neck for a 76 to 86 CJ, this diameter right here is 2 3/16, exactly the same as this hose size and the fuel filler neck port on the gas tank. So my ideal, I'm just gonna cut these 2 off because you still get to retain your vent port up in here. This actually has a hole pre-drilled in it for a vent tube. So I'm thinking maybe I can recycle this and use it here to attach this vent tube. So I still have my vent. I think that's how we're gonna make the 70 to 75 and the 76 to 86 CJ stuff all jive together. It's gonna look super clean and I think it's gonna be great. All right, so I need to figure out where I need to make this cut at. So I'm gonna go ahead and install this filler hose, and that will give me the location of around about where I need to make this cut. So this is the inside view. You can kind of see where it falls at. I took that measurement and then I moved that to the outside. So I'm making a mark here just to kind of reference where I need to be. Now you'll see two little pilot holes. I drilled those to represent the center of where the filler neck will be, and then just checking to make sure everything's nice and square. I made that look way harder than it needs to be. So the right way to do this job would have been with a step bit, do 4 holes, 1 in each corner. That gets your radius. Take a cutoff wheel, make 4 cuts, and you got that perfect pocket to put your insert in. I can't find my step bit, and somehow I've run out of cutoff wheels. So I made do with what I had. The jigsaw probably would have worked, but I had 2 layers of metal instead of 1. You might have noticed that because this whole Jeep has been skinned over at some point. So I was fighting that. So finally break out the plasma cutter and just knocked it out. I hate plasma cutting on a vehicle like this because you always end up setting something on fire you don't mean to. It all worked out good, looks super clean. So next, moving on to the filler neck, gonna modify it and get it bolted in there. Then it should just be like hoses and we'll call this job done. After cutting the end off the filler neck, I went ahead and welded a little bead around the end of it just to kind of give something for that hose clamp to snug down to. If you had something you could roll a bead onto this with, that would be great. Alrighty, y'all, so that about wraps up this rear gas tank conversion. Everything went together super clean. I'm really happy with how it turned out. All the hoses worked together. The filler neck turned out great. So all that's really left to do now, I do have to run the gas line, of course, up to the fuel pump. And then I bought this vapor canister. It's just a generic vapor canister. It's got a PCV valve built into it and stuff. So one issue I saw that people had with this swap is pressure building up in the tank and then flooding the carburetor. So this should take care of that. You know, just pump it up into the intake or something like that to get rid of those vapors. That's why if you could find a vented cap, that would be really cool, but the Jeep might smell like gas on a hot summer day. I don't know. Couple tips to make this go a little easier. Like I said, make sure you got all the hose clamps you need, all the pieces you need. So I put the filler neck and this plate on with self-tapping screws, sliding the hoses on. If you put a little hand sanitizer inside there, which I know like everybody's got a ton of that these days, it'll slide on super easy, and then when that alcohol evaporates, you'll be a nice tight fit. You don't really want to use like grease or oil or something that won't dissipate. So I'd recommend like some kind of alcohol-based hand sanitizer or like Windex, something like that. I really appreciate y'all checking out this week's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see y'all next time.